Ever had one of those neighbors who just seems to live for drama? Well, I hit the jackpot. This is the story of how my neighbor, let's call her Karen, got herself barred from our entire neighborhood in just 24 hours, all because I parked in my own driveway. It all started on a Saturday morning. I have this beautiful, long driveway, and I was doing some major spring cleaning in my garage. I had boxers, tools, and all sorts of stuff spread out. To keep things organized and out of the street, I parked my truck sideways at the end of my driveway, completely blocking it. It wasn't blocking the sidewalk or the road, just my own property. I was working away, music playing, feeling pretty productive. That's when Karen made her grand entrance. She stormed over, hands on her hips, looking like she was about to declare war. "You can't park like that," she yelled. I took my earbuds out, a bit confused. "Excuse me?" I said. "You're blocking the driveway, it's a violation." I just looked at her, then at my truck, then back at her. "It's my driveway," I said calmly. "I'm blocking myself in while I clean my garage." You would have thought I'd told her the sky was green. She went on a tirade about how it was an eyesore, how it set a bad precedent, and how it was against the HOA rules. I knew the HOA rules pretty well, and there was nothing about how you could or couldn't park on your own property, as long as you weren't on the grass or blocking a public way. I tried to explain this to her, but she wasn't having it. "I'm a member of the HOA board," she screeched. "I know the rules better than you." This was news to me, but I wasn't going to argue. "Okay," I said, "I'll be done in a few hours and then I'll move it." I thought that would be the end of it. Oh, how wrong I was. She huffed and puffed her way back across the street. About 20 minutes later, I see flashing lights. A police car pulls up. 2 officers get out and walk up my driveway, looking very serious. I turned off my music and went to meet them. "Sir, we got a call about a vehicle blocking a driveway," one of them said. I almost laughed. "I'm cleaning my garage." They looked at each other, then at the chaos in my garage, and you could see the understanding dawn on their faces. One officer sighed and spoke into his radio. "Yeah, it's a civil matter. The homeowner is blocking his own driveway." He turned back to me. "Sorry to bother you, sir." I just shook my head. "It's not your fault, officers. Thanks for coming out." They got back in their car and left. As they drove away, I saw Karen staring from her window, looking absolutely furious that I wasn't being hauled away in handcuffs. This is where things get really interesting. I pulled up the HOA website, found the list of board members, and guess what? Her name wasn't there. Not only was she not on the board, but she wasn't even listed as a committee member. She had completely lied to my face. Now, I'm not usually one for confrontation, but calling the cops on me and lying about her authority was a step too far. I remembered our HOA had a specific clause about harassment and misrepresenting herself as a board member. It was a serious violation. So, I drafted an email. I explained the entire situation in detail, how I was parked on my own property, how she accosted me, how she lied about being a board member to intimidate me, and the grand finale, how she wasted police resources by calling them for a known issue. I attached a photo I'd snapped of my truck in the driveway, clearly showing it wasn't obstructing anything public. I sent it off to the actual HOA board members that evening. The next morning, I got a reply from the HOA president. He mentioned they'd had other, similar complaints about her in the past. He told me they would be holding an emergency meeting. I didn't expect much to happen. Maybe a slap on the wrist for her. Well, by that afternoon, the neighborhood email group it stated that due to repeated violations of community guidelines, including harassment of residents and misrepresentation of authority, Karen's household was being issued a formal notice. Here is the kicker. Our HOA bylaws had a strict 3 strikes rule for major violations, and this was apparently her 3rd strike. The notice declared that her family's access to all common areas, the pool, the clubhouse, the park was immediately and permanently revoked, but it didn't stop there. Because she lived in a rental property, the HOA also had the authority to contact the property owner. The landlord, not wanting to deal with the HOA's fines and legal threats, chose not to renew her lease, which was up in 2 months. So, within 24 hours of calling the police on me for parking in my own driveway, Karen had not only lost all her neighborhood privileges but was also effectively evicted. The next couple of months were awkwardly silent. She didn't make eye contact, didn't say a word. When moving day came, she had 2 hire movers to use the community amenities she was barred from. It was a sweet, silent victory. The neighborhood has been noticeably more peaceful ever since. Moral of the story: don't mess with people who know the rules better than you do, especially when you're making them up. Thanks for listening to my wild neighborhood story. If you have any crazy neighbor stories of your own, drop them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. See you next time.